So, some interesting news to come out of the freezer camp. For those that wanted a freezer buff, I mean, it was reworked a while back, but some people still thought it needed a better buff. Well, it's been buffed. Well, it's been reworked, but is it a buff? So, firstly, the freezer costs 425 to place down instead of the 450 that it used to cost before. Additionally, at this level, its fire rate is 0.5, its damage is 1, its range is 12, which the 12 is being a buff from the 10 that it was before. Meanwhile, the slowdown per hit has actually been nerfed from 15 to 10 at this level, but the max slowdown has been increased from 45 to 50. Now, you don't achieve the max slowdown by just having one freezer. What you have to do is probably just like spam level 0 freezers. And actually, what people have done is actually spam level 0 freezers to great effect. Actually, people have said that spamming level 0 freezers is better than the Golden Skull. Now, the Golden Skull is not really considered one of the better golden skins anymore, but the freezer, spamming the level 0 freezer, is now considered by many people to be a good strategy for early game, because the freezer is a good support tower. It slows down enemies, and as you can see, it slows down like the hard hitting enemies quite well, and it deals decent damage, like 1 damage, 0.5 fire rate. That's what you need for the low health enemies that spawn in. Yeah, it's not powerful, but you don't need power at this level. I mean, at the start of the game, like this is easy mode, and like, yeah, spamming level 0 freezers is acceptable. It's perfectly fine, and it deals with it quite well. It's what you need. And as you can see, the freezer's actually doing quite well against the normal boss. The 2 normal bosses that spawn here, it slows them down quite well. Like I'm not even trying. I'm distracted right now, but yeah, if you have like another tower that's hard hitting, yeah, pretty well. Sorry, I meant to mention that there was actually a DPS increase from 1.64 to 1.96, and the cost efficiency has decreased from 274 to 229. Meanwhile, at level 1, the upgrade cost has increased from 150 to 225. So the total cost has increased from 600 to 650. At this level, the max slowdown is 60, which is the same as it was before, and the chill slowdown, the chill slowness per hit, I assume, is 15, which is 5% lower than it was before, which was 20%. Slowdown time is the same at 3 seconds. Burst count is the same as 1. The range is, I mean, it was the same as it was before. It's 12. Freeze time the same as it was 1.5. Technically, the damage has stayed the same as well. It's the fire rate that's changed from 0.6 to 0.5. The damage has actually increased from 1 to 2 actually at this level as well. So it's a no-brainer then. Spam level 1 freezers. That seems to be the best thing to do. Level 1 spam is best. So at this level, the DPS has increased from 1.64 to 3.93. So the cost efficiency at this level has decreased from 365, which was terrible, to 165. That is golden level territory. So level 1 spam of the freezer is exceptionally good. So early game, take my advice. Level 1 freezer spam. That can save your bacon, but it doesn't have hidden detection. For hidden detection, you'll need to upgrade to level 2, but level 2 hidden detection is quite cheap. So at this level, it's 650 compared to before it was 625. So it is an upgrade cost increase of 25, but a total cost increase of about $75. So barely anything, let's be honest, in comparison to the total cost. So at this level, yes, the main thing is hidden detection. The range also increases to 14, which is also a 2 range increase to what it was before. I wouldn't say that it deals with hiddens quite as well as, say, other towers, but I mean, you can spam it because it's like 1,300. And I'm not playing seriously. This is sandbox mode, let's be real. Oh, and when I said the level 0 and 1 had freeze time, I'm wrong. They don't have freeze time anymore. So it turns out they removed the freeze time from level 0 and 1. So the level 2 freezer is the only one that, to level 2 onwards, is the only one that has the freeze. So at this level, the level 2 freezer can freeze enemies once it hits the max cooldown for 2 seconds, and its chill slowness, so the amount of slowness that it deals per hit is now 20, so you need 3 hits on an enemy to slow down to freeze an enemy, sorry. So yeah, at this level, the DPS has actually barely increased from 3.29 to 3.93. it's still actually a cost efficiency decrease, so a buff from 3.29 from 372 to 330. So like, yeah, it is a buff still, and it freezes enemies, so it's basically the same as it was before. And I mean, like, to be fair, mostly at this level it's for the hidden detection, and it fares quite well for cheap hidden detection. I wouldn't say it's the best, but for its niche, at what it's meant to be used, that's what people are using it for, as in cheap spam, early game spam. It fares quite well, and at this level, at this point, you should probably consider other towers. Therefore, at level three, I mean, like, at this point, people probably just like doze off at whatever this tower affords. But at level 3, the upgrade cost has increased from 1,650 to 2,000. Therefore, its total cost has increased from 2,875 to 3,300. Its damage has increased from 2 to 3. Its fire rate has actually increased from 0.2 to 0.15, but overall that is a DPS increase. Max slowdown remains the same at 75%. Chill slowdown so that's the amount of slowdown per hit. It remains the same at 25%, so you need 3 hits to reach the effect to freeze enemies, which is 3. It also gets burst at this cooldown, as stated as before. So that's a burst of 3 and a burst cooldown of 0.75. That's the more important thing. And in fact, the burst cooldown has actually decreased from 1 to 0.75, which is a buff. Also, apparently, its burst is not actually 3, it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's actually 4. Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, they made a change that they haven't told us. Yeah, so it's actually 4, not 3. Oh, it was actually in the game before, but again, the stat box is wrong for some reason. Finally, the range has been increased from 12 to 14 at this level. Therefore, the DPS for this tower has increased from 5.29 to 8.68. So the cost efficiency for the freezer has decreased from 543, which was terrible, to 380, which is not great, but it is usable at least. And for the freezing ability that it affords, for enemies that do not have the no freeze thing, the freezer can be quite well against them. It is pretty good. But pretty good, I mean, comparatively, for a tower of like this, like for its cheap coins unlock, it is fairly well. It's like an okay freezing. Is it the best freezing tower? Probably. You probably could argue that the Chiromancer is a better freezing tower, but for like a general overall freezing tower, I say the freezer is like pretty decent. It's a pretty decent tower for the plebs, I guess, if you don't have like the Sledger or the Frost Blaster, something like that, or the Chiromancer. Finally, for level 4, the Frostbite upgrade, its upgrade cost has actually decreased from 5,000 to 4,500. So its total cost has actually decreased from 7,875 to 7,800. Its damage has increased from increased from 3 to 5. Its fire rate has increased from 0.1 to 0.15. Its max slowdown is the same at 75%. Its slowdown per hit is the same at 25%. Its burst has increased from 3 to 6 as its upgrade, but that's actually a decrease count from 7 to 6 because it was 7 before this update. Its range has increased though from 14 to 16, and it is pretty evident. I don't believe there's any changes to the Frost Grenade ability. It still has like a max hits of like 3 or something. I think so, I believe. I wouldn't be so sure. Let's see. I don't know. It probably still does have, like, a max hit. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, the burst cooldown is still decreased from 1 to 0.75. So overall, its DPS has increased from 11.96 to 17.66. And its cost efficiency has decreased from a pretty bad 658 to a I wouldn't say manageable, but it's a less worse 441. So yeah, the freezer, it's like, you shouldn't get like a max level freezer. The only reason why you get a max level freezer is if you were using this as a early game tower and you have like gotten like your rangers, your accelerators, or you really don't have anything else, and like this was your early game tower and this was like the only thing that you could provide to everyone, and you can only max it out. But it's pretty decent for its niche. It's not a tower that is for DPS, but it is a tower for support, and it performs admirably for its support and early game niche. That being said though, it's not OP. It is, but it's better than the Golden Scouts for spam. Sure, fine. Let's say that. But is it even that good compared to the Golden Scout? I mean, yeah, the freezer can actually freeze. So you know what? compared for like versatility and usability, like the freezer can be used outside of its niche for early games. So yeah, I'd actually consider the argument that the freezer outside of that is quite good for that. And like, Jesus, actually, it's doing quite well against the Gravedigger. I mean, to be fair, the Gravedigger is quite easy, so I'd be surprised if it wasn't doing quite well against the freezer. The Gravedigger. But yeah, the freezer buffed. Not OP, but it's a good support tower nevertheless. And just one more thing, does the grenade have a max hits? Yeah, it does have a max hits of a 4. So yeah, the max hits has still not been removed. Yeah, it's a max hit of 5 enemies. It's just that one of the enemies was already frozen, and it doesn't increase the frozen. So yeah, yeah, the frost grenade isn't that OP. Don't use it. Like, I genuinely think that the developers should just like remove the frost grenade limit, because bosses have like no freeze by innate immunity anyway. So genuinely, it's not that OP if you just remove the max hits restrictions, like, because a lot of enemies have no freeze immunity. So please just remove it. Like, what's the point?